Good morning all. We are from the Caring Group. I am Elfrida Suryati as Caring 2, Magdalena Avinda as Caring 1, and Maria Yuliani as Caring 3. We'll present two important materials that we have learned during this semester, namely part of speech and noun phrase. To Caring 1, I invite you to start the presentation first.
Thank you. And the first material I will to tell you about nouns. A noun is a word that indicate a person, place, animal, or thing. Jadi nouns itu merupakan kata benda yang menjelaskan tentang orang, tempat, hewan, ataupun benda mati lainnya. In a sentence, nouns answer the who and what question types. Jadi nouns itu menjawab pertanyaan siapa dan apa. Nouns have several important functions. Noun is the subject, noun is an object, noun is an object of preposition, noun is the subject complement, noun is an objective complement. Jadi nouns itu dapat berupa subjek, objek, atau objek preposisi atau penjelas subjek ataupun penjelas objek. For the example, correction takes all in generic material. In the sentence above, there are two nouns, correction and material. And for example 2, this film protect the metal from corrosion. In the sentence above, there are two nouns, metal and corrosion. Jadi dalam kalimat itu terdapat dua kata benda yaitu metal and corrosion. For the next material is concrete and abstract nouns. A noun may be concrete or something you can touch, see, and etc. Jadi kata benda konkret itu kata benda yang dapat dilihat ataupun disentuh. Like the noun is example above, a noun may be abstract. Example 1, we need to have great courage and perform the experiment. Example 2, her love for Proyek is great. The abstract concept of courage and love in the sentence above are both noun. Jadi dalam kalimat tersebut terdapat kata benda abstrak yaitu courage and love. Jadi kata benda abstrak itu kata benda yang tidak dapat disentuh atau tidak dapat dilihat. Jadi kebalikan dari concrete nouns. And the next is proper nouns. Example 1, she studied at Widya Mandala last year. And example 2, Joko Wirjawan was the head of the department in 2010. Widya Mandala and Joko Wirjawan are all proper nouns and they should be capitals. Jadi proper nouns itu merupakan kata benda yang digunakan untuk menunjukkan nama instansi, tempat, ataupun agama, ataupun organisasi. Jadi harus diawali dengan huruf kapital atau they should be capitals. For the next is verbal noun. The type of noun is derived from verbs such as current, participle, and infinitive. For example, praying kids during rainy season is dangerous. The next material is countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are nouns that can be counted. Jadi, countable noun itu merupakan kata benda yang dapat dihitung. Untuk lebih dapat mudah mengingat itu kan arti count itu hitung, able itu dapat. So, countable nouns itu kata benda yang dapat dihitung. That means that it include all object while number allows to be counted with exact number. Jadi countable nouns itu kata benda yang dapat dihitung dengan menggunakan angka seperti 1, 2, and 3, and etc. For example, it is therefore used in the marriage in the part and for the surface like ships proper which are made in contact with seawater. Parts, surface, ship, and proper are countable. Karena ships and proper itu merupakan kata benda yang dapat dihitung menggunakan angka. Basically, uncountable noun is the opposite of countable. Jadi uncountable itu merupakan kebalikan dari countable sendiri. Jadi un itu kan artinya tidak dapat. Jadi uncountable noun became counted with numbers or values. Jadi tidak dapat dihitung menggunakan angka. For example, it is therefore used for marriage and birth, and for other surfaces like ships, propellers which are made in contact with seawater. Water is uncuttable karena air itu kan tidak dapat dihitung, jadi termasuk kata benda yang tidak dapat dihitung dengan angka atau uncuttable nouns. Next slide. Pronouns. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun in a sentence. Jadi, pronoun itu merupakan kata ganti. It refers to a person, place, thing, feeling, or quality, but does not refer to each by its name. So, pronouns sentence appear when you don't directly point at the object, but instead use pronouns. For example, it reduces in the life of a material in the sentence above, it is pronoun. Like nouns, pronoun may be used either as subject or as object in the sentence. Example 2, we need enough air to make it fly. In the example above, both we and it are pronouns. We is the subject of the sentence while it is the object. Jadi pada kalimat di atas itu we itu sebagai kata ganti yang menggantikan subjek, sedangkan it itu yang menggantikan sebagai objeknya. Next slide. For the next material is every subject pronoun has a corresponding object form. See the table below. Jadi kata ganti itu dapat berupa singular atau tunggal dan plural atau jamak. For the sentence example is please learn to take care of yourself. Jadi yourself di sini itu sebagai reflexive pronouns atau kata ganti orang yang digunakan untuk merujuk sesuatu ke diri sendiri. I think that's all for me about noun and pronouns. And thank you for your attention all.
Okay, the presented by friend Irda. Next, I want to explain about articles. Articles, quoting from Grammarly, are words that are used to determine a specific or non-specific noun or noun. Jadi artikel ini kurang lebih ada 3, ada a, an, and the. They preceded a noun or a noun phrase in a sentence. Types of articles that can be used to indicate singular and plural nouns or nouns. Jadi kurang lebih ada 2 tipe dari artikel ini nanti. Ada definite article dan indefinite article. First, I want to explain about definite articles. The definite article is used to denote certain nouns. This type of article is marked with the word the. The exact article sourced from the British Council can be used for singular, plural, and uncountable things. Jadi pada definite article ini, artikel yang kita gunakan yaitu artikel the. For example, they want to use the new flag to raise the flag. In example 2, the article the precedes the noun phrase fully, in which new is the noun and blue the adjective. Example number 2, please pass me the ketchup. The ketchup here is specific, where you and the person who is asked for help already understand which tomato sauce is. Okay. 2, I want to explain about indefinite article. Unlike the definite, the indefinite article is used for nouns that are not yet specific or general. There are 2 words used in indefinite article, a and an. Nah, jadi bedanya pada definite article tadi, artikel yang kita gunakan yaitu artikel the. Sementara pada indefinite article ini, artikel yang kita gunakan ada 2, yaitu artikel a dan an. These 2 types of articles can only be used for single words. There are separate rules in the use of a and an. Oke, yang pertama ada artikel a. A used for words that sound like a consonant when spoken. Jadi untuk artikel ini itu digunakan untuk suatu kata yang diawali dengan bunyi konsonan. Okay, for example, number 1, they needed a pulley with a long rope. In example 1, the article precedes the noun pulley and a also precedes the noun phrase long rope, which consists of an adjective long and the noun it describes rope. For example number 2, I want a book for my next birthday present. A book here is not aimed at a specific book. Any book can be used as a gift. Okay. Artikel indefinite yang kedua yaitu an. An is used for words that start with a vowel when spoken. Nah, jadi bedanya kalau yang artikel ini itu untuk kata yang diawali oleh bunyi konsonan, sementara untuk yang artikel an ini untuk kata yang diawali oleh bunyi vokal. For example, she found an apple yesterday and it tasted so good. Okay. Next, I want to explain about adjective. An adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or pronouns. Adjective may precede nouns, or they may appear after a form of the reflexive verb to be, am, are, is, was, etc. For example number 1, Monel metal is resistant to both freeze and saltwater corrosion. Example number 2, cupronickel contain a smaller proportion of nickel. In example 1, the adjective resistant describes the noun metal. In example 2, the adjective smaller describes the noun proposition. Okay, next, I want to explain about verbs. A verb is a word that denotes action or a state of being in a sentence. Example number 1, corrosion attacks all engineering materials, especially metals. Example number 2, alloys are corrosion resistant. In example 1, attacks is the verb. It describes what the subject, corrosion, does. In example number 2, are describes alloys, state of being, and is therefore the verb. Nah, there may be multiple verbs in a sentence, or there may be a verb phrase consisting of a verb plus a helping verb. Example number 1, corrosion reduces the life of a material and increases the cost of a structure. Example 2, straight lines can appear to be curved. In example 1, the subject corrosion performs two actions, reduces and increases. In example 2, the first phrase is can appear. Thank you.
So for the next presentation will be discussed adverb, conjunction, and preposition, which will be discussed by my friend is Caring 3.
Okay, thanks. Now presentation about adverb. Adverbs modify or further describe verb. Adverb may also modify adjective. Jadi, kata keterangan memodifikasi atau lebih lanjut menggambarkan kata kerja. Kata keterangan saya juga memodifikasi kata sifat. Example, the columns of the pronoun stand perfectly. Jadi, kolom pronoun berdiri dengan sempurna. In the first example, the adverb perfectly modified and the verb then. In the second example, the adverb extremely modified the adjective big, which describes the noun lamb. While nouns answer the question how and when, adverbs answer the question how, when, why, and where. Jadi, dalam contoh pertama, kata keterangan dengan sempurna memodifikasi kata kerja berdiri. Sementara, kata benda menjawab pertanyaan siapa dan apa. Kata keterangan menjawab pertanyaan bagaimana, kapan, mengapa, dan di mana. Next slide. Conjunction. A conjunction is a word that joins two independent clauses or sentences together. Jadi, konjugasi adalah kata yang menghubungkan dua klausa independen atau kalimat bersama-sama. Example 1, the lines of the Parthenon look straight, but they are actually curves. Example 2, lines can sometimes appear a bit curved, so do not be surprised. Jadi, yang contoh pertama itu garis-garis Parthenon terlihat lurus, tetapi sebenarnya melengkung. Sedangkan contoh yang kedua, garis-garis kadang bisa tampak melengkung, tapi jangan kaget. In the example above, both would and so are conjugation. The join to complete sentence with the help of a comma and word for or nor so, and it can add a conjugation. Jadi, dalam contoh di atas, baik, tetapi, dan begitu adalah konjugasi. Gabungkan dua kalimat lengkap dengan bantuan koma and, but, for, or, nor, so, namun, semua dapat bertindak sebagai konjugasi. Next slide. Preposition. Preposition were in combination with a noun or pronoun to create phrases that modify verbs, nouns, pronouns, or adjective. Preposition phrases convey a spatial, temporal, or the directional meaning. Jadi, proposisi bekerja dalam kombinasi dengan kata benda atau kata ganti untuk membuat frasa yang memodifikasi kata kerja, kata benda, atau kata sifat. Kata sifat frasa proposisi menyampaikan makna spesial, temporal, atau arah. Example, scientists tried the experiment about energy from the sun. Ilmuwan mencoba eksperimen tentang energi matahari. There are two preposition phrases in the example about energy and from the sun. Jadi ada dua frase proposisi dalam contoh di atas tentang energi dan dari matahari. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Caring Tree. Next, we will enter the second material, which is about noun phrases. Noun phrase. To Caring 1, I invite you to present the part.
Thank you. For the next material is noun phrase. A noun phrase is a cluster of words that centers on a noun. Jadi frasa kata benda adalah sekelompok kata yang berpusat pada kata benda. The central noun is called head of the noun phrase. Jadi kata benda pusat itu disebut dengan kepala dari frasa kata benda. Understanding noun phrase and their head is very important to understand the message of the text. Jadi untuk memahami pesan dari sebuah teks agar tidak salah dalam memaknai, itu diperlukan untuk memahami frasa kata benda sendiri. Following the identity, the noun phrase and their head, the central ideas might lead the misunderstanding. Now it is your time to indent the noun phrase and their head in the text above. Read the example below. The bakery on the corner sells loads pastry. In the sentence, there are actually two noun phrases. The first is the bakery on the corner. The bakery is the main noun in the phrase, and on the corner describe the bakery. The next noun phrase is load of pastries. Pastries are the nouns of the phrase and lots of describe the noun. Jadi dalam kalimat di atas itu terdapat dua frasa kata benda. And I think that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. And you can next presentation.
Then present by Irda.
Okay, thank you. Next, I want to explain about premodifiers in noun phrase. A premodifier is a linguistic unit that comes before a noun to classify or categorize the referent of the noun by pointing out its quality. Jadi, premodifier ini adalah unit linguistik yang datang sebelum kata benda untuk mengklasifikasikan atau mengkategorikan referensi kata benda dengan menunjukkan kualitasnya. Nah, for example number 1, a red flower. A flower that is red, not a flower of any other color. Jadi untuk contoh yang pertama itu tentang bunga merah. Jadi bunga merah yang dimaksud di sini adalah bunga yang merah, bukan warna lain selain bunga merah. For example number 2, a beautiful red flower. A red flower that is beautiful, not a red flower that is ugly. Jadi untuk contoh yang kedua yaitu tentang merah yang indah. Nah, bunga merah yang indah di sini itu berarti itu tentang bunga merah yang indah, bukan merujuk pada bunga merah yang jelek. Jadi spesifiknya lebih di dikhususkan gitu. Okay, thank you.
So for the next presentation with my friend is Caring3 will continue.
Okay, I present the first one, function as of the subject. Number 2, function as object. Number 3, function as a complement. Number 1, function as subject. Example, the teacher call me Sultan. The teacher call me Sultan. Nah, di sini yang menjadi subjeknya itu the teacher. Number 2, function as object. Example, Tony give his son a bike. Nah, di sini yang menjadi objeknya itu his son. Next. Number 3, function as a complement. Example, number 1, subject complement. Mr. Tirta is alright. Yang menjadi subjek komplementnya itu di sini yaitu alright. Example number 2, object complement. Example, the class member elected Arya their leader. Nah, di sini yang menjadi objek komplementnya itu their leader. Next. Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. So many presentations from our group. Thank you.